Welcome into the Alexis Aguirre Sports Complex here in Managua, Nicaragua, one of the largest cities in the Central America, largest city in the country. Playing host tonight to Group A action in the Basketball Champions League of Americas, Real Estelí playing host to Halcón from Mexico. Carlin Gay alongside Paul McKeskey. Paul, this is the end of a long start for all the other groups, and finally we get some Group A action. These two teams have been able to kind of watch the rest of the competition do battle, and here they have an opportunity to put their best foot forward in game number one for them.
Yeah, there's good and bad about that. There's good that you're kind of seeing what's going on and be able to jump in and be ready to play, but you also might get a little bit stale, and a few too many days off kind of gets you stale as a team. So it's going to be interesting here tonight of who gets out to a good start and who has the energy, because looking at this arena, it's a beautiful arena, and we're hoping to see some really good basketball tonight.
This arena sits just over 8,000 people. We're hoping that most seats have someone to fill them as the visitors get introduced to the crowd here. The Halcones from Mexico. They finished 5th in the standings in the LNBP. They were 16-12 a season ago. Made it to the quarterfinals of the playoffs, but lost to the eventual champions in just 5 games. That league just wrapped up 2 days ago, really. December 14th, the finals wrapped up, and the championship was handed out. But this is a team that since the early 2000s, the franchise is used to winning. They've won 4 championships, league championships in that time, but hasn't won since 2010. Looking to add to the trophy case here in the Basketball Champions League, one of the toughest competitions on the continent, Paul.
Yeah, they've had so much success, but then like legends in the League of Mexico, and now they've kind of struggled over the last few years, and they've rehauled and overhauled some of their roster and with some new blood, and trying to rekindle those championships that they won in the past. And just like you said, this is a tough competition to do that in.
No question. One of the teams that has kind of been in the competitions long enough to maybe even pay some rent. 4 straight times here in the Basketball Champions League of Americas for Real Estelí that is being introduced to the crowd on hand right now. They made the final in 2021, losing to Kimsa, a Kimsa team you just saw blow out Sao Paulo in the game before this one. But getting to this Champions League is one thing. Winning it is another thing. They've been bounced in the quarterfinals the last 2 seasons. They're looking to get and finally break through and win the Americas Championship, because they've been doing it at the league level for quite some time.
Yeah, and they have some experience on the team. They have players like Terrell Holloway and Emmett Williams that have been around. They played at a high level, either in the G League or overseas, and they're looking to help that team continue on with their success in this tournament.
Real Estelí finished 3rd in the LSB standings, the league in Nicaragua. They were 21-6 in that league, but lost in the semifinals to Brumas. Caribbean Coast won the championship of the Nicaraguan League just last night. Game 5, deciding game. They won it by 4 points. What a way to end an incredible season. We'll pause now for the national anthems here for both teams. Moments away from the opening tip. between Halcones and Real Estelí. There is Real Estelí's roster. You mentioned names like Holloway and Williams, but they're also stocked with local talent like Jared Ruiz, who is number 24, will be wearing the red jersey. There's Ismael Romero, another big who has played in this league before and plays for his national team as well, a Puerto Rican star. This is a team that wants to get up and down the floor. They also can beat you inside and out. As we take a look at the three officials who will be in charge of keeping this game in check, you have Fernandez, Dos Santos, and Rodriguez from Argentina, Brazil, and Puerto Rico. Moments away from tip-off. Get an opportunity to see the starting lineups between these two teams. Here is Halcones from Mexico. And here's their starting five. Look at a guy like Brian Conklin, who's been all over the planet, really. Had some time in Australia where he won an NBL MVP playing in Australia for the Townsville Crocs, and now defunct Townsville Crocodile team.
Yeah, I've seen some footage of him playing, and he's sneaky athletic, and he plays both sides of the ball, and he's a very aggressive player.
Yeah, great veteran, an undersized big, but can definitely score in the paint. Real Estelí's starting five: Holloway, Williams, Enriquez, Ruiz, and Romero. A lot of experience on that team playing in the BCLA, and they'll be led by that man right there, David Rosario from Puerto Rico, and he's been at the helm of this team since 2021. Has, of course, basketball Champions League experience, and excited to get his team back to the knockout stage. That's very far away. Ton of games between now and then. This is game number one in Group A between these two teams. Of course, the basketball Champions League, Paul, as you know, 12 of the best teams in the Americas, and we crown a champion of the continent. And it's been one of the best competitions, really, on the planet since its inception.
We've done, the first group and seen some games, and it's very competitive, very talented. A lot of teams, they really know what they're doing, their spacing. And I've noticed so far, the team that jumps out ahead in the early goings usually controls the game. But also on the flip side of that, we've seen a lot of teams lose big leads in the fourth quarter. So excitement, no matter what the score looks like.
This competition has been dominated by teams from Brazil. Sesca Franca are the reigning champions. They're from Brazil. Flamengo and Sao Paulo also winning championships in the BCLA. The one team that has won it not from Brazil was Quimsa, and that was back in 2021, defeating Real Estelí in this very gym on the road. It was a tough contest. Gym was packed, was rocking, and Quimsa came away with a victory in that one.
And it's summertime, so it's hot. So when that gym gets packed and the excitement gets going, and I'm telling you, those are the games that I love to play in, and I love to coach in and get your blood flowing. So I'm hoping for another one of those games tonight here.
As a coach, Paul, coming into tournaments or events like this and competitions like this where you have little experience really playing the team across from you, but you do know the players on the other side, just not as a collective. How hard is it to really scout and get your team ready and prepared to play in these type of games?
Well, I think a lot of it, like you said, is individual, and you know who the shooters are and who the post-up guys are, and you also know the style they play. Are they up-tempo? Are they slow it down? But really, to start these tournaments especially, and I've coached in the World Games and I've coached in the Olympics in 2012, and you got to get your game going. Do what you do, and then worry about the opponent later. But you do still rely on your individual scouting reports, because you better know where those knockdown shooters are when the jump ball goes up.
No question about it. We'll put 10 minutes on the clock 4 10-minute quarters here in the Basketball Champions League of Americas. Of course, FIBA rules. Real Estelí will be in the home red uniforms. Halcones in the road white. Off we go. James and Williams at the tip. Real Estelí will start with the basketball going from left to right on your screen. Carlin Gay alongside Paul McKeskey. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. It is Jared Ruiz on the rock. Holloway back to Ruiz. Has to put it up. He does. Left it short. And James pulls down the first board of the game. Halcones. Yeah, very. Halcones, an older team. 31.5 average years in terms of age, of course. A little bit younger on the other side for Real Estelí. And again, the shot clock coming right down as Conklin spins and fades and knocks it down. A little bailout there on offense, Paul.
Nice little post up, little shake to the middle, a Keen Olajuwon shake, pivot to the baseline. And like we talked earlier, Conklin, he plays bigger than he is. He's deceptive.
Really tough player. He's going to have his hands filled with Romero, who's about 4 inches taller. There they are right now, matched up. Romero's not really known for putting the ball in the deck. And there you see the touch a little bit off. James with another flat-footed rebound. Three on the way. Rodriguez off the heel. And the push. Romero, that's what he does. Running the floor and finishes on the fast break.
That's what more big men need to think about. Forget about shooting the ball sometimes. Run the floor and get those easy layups.
You love it when the guards keep their head up and actually find you when you do make that run.
Or you
Rodriguez tries for 2. Yeah, Conklin pulls down the board. He'll go to work, back to the basket, fading away over Romero. Soft touch. Four too early on. First game in the Basketball Champions League of America for these two teams. Here's Romero again on the perimeter. Lost it. Numbers for Halcones. 3 on the way. Indeed.
And Ramirez with the costly turnover, like you said earlier, he's not known for putting on the floor. Maybe there's a reason for that.
It's a foul on the floor there. It's the first foul of the game. Gets an opportunity to see the replay. All the way drawing the foul. Little veteran play there, grabbing the jersey of the defender and then throwing himself to the floor.
Gotta do what you gotta do to get that foul call.
Feels like nowadays people are drilling that.
Yeah, and finding bodies and falling down.
Ruiz in the paint, spinning. The kick open for 3. No good. Offensive rebound there for Williams, a fresh 14. And he's fouled. It's going to be on James, his first.
Yeah, Carlin, like you said, today's game is about drawing fouls to get to the free throw line, and sometimes done too much and too exaggerated, in my opinion.
It is a skill, though. You know, people like to complain about the way the game's going. On the follow-in there is Enriquez drills his first shot. Three-point lead for Halcones, who has the basketball. 3 on the way off the heel, no good. Conklin was battling inside, and he gets possession back for his team.
He's one of those energy guys, never stops moving, always on the offensive glass. You love to have a player like that on your team.
Rodriguez. Rolling inside. Good ball movement. Fabian James for 3, no good. Ball was halfway down and then popped back out. Enriquez kicked it all the way back to the top of the key. All the way for 3.
Holloway's been a good player at every level, including the G League and high level overseas. So expect more of that from him tonight.
Turnover and an opportunity for Real Estelí to get out on the floor and run, and good defense, transition defense getting back there. Halcones forcing Real Estelí to pull it out that time, and Williams knocked to the deck. That's the 13th foul here in the first period for Halcones. It's going to be Conklin on the foul. I believe that's his first. Wow, they say it's in the act.
That's unusual. Usually they just take it out on the side at this point.
Yeah, it looked to me like there was no chance that he was really in a shooting motion. I mean, after he heard the whistle, kind of threw his arms up to pretend he was taking the shot, but earns his trip to the line.
I think I said that a little while ago. You got to do what you got to do to get that foul.
Worked out in Emmett Williams' favor as he cashes out on the first free throw attempt.
And Emmett Williams is another guy. Went to LSU, played well, and then played in the G League. Just a very nice player.
He was the MVP of the 2018 Jordan Brand Classic. Came out of high school as a 5-star recruit. As you mentioned, an LSU product. Got his tutelage down at IMG Academy. They just keep pumping out athletes down there, don't they?
Yeah, they have a great facility and great coaches, and they're a magnet for talent.
2-point lead for Real Estelí. Halcones on the rock. Imes for 3. Can't get it to go. Conklin again battling inside, but that time Ruiz tapped it out. Here's Holloway, rejected by Rodriguez. And Holloway asking, hey, maybe he used a forearm.
That's a good old-fashioned foul right there. I like it. Little arm on there.
Looked like he did get the ball first, though. Officials letting him play nonetheless. First subs of the game for Halcones. It's Estelí basketball, 19 on the shot clock. Gonzalez and Rodriguez checked into the game for Halcones. That's Ruiz snaking to the lane. Can't get it to go. And Conklin vacuums in the rebound. Conklin finding himself alone inside for the layup. So crafty inside.
Just great ball movement, too. Halcones is really moving the ball early in this game.
Conklin, you saw on your screen quickly there, has 6 points, perfect from the field. All the way to the rack. Rodriguez from the wing. Can't get it to go. Williams vacuums that rebound up. And Estelí taking their time as they cross the timeline. Holloway. Romero took a look at the rim, now puts it on the deck. Romero inside. Can't get it to go. Slapped off the rim. And we'll go the other way with Gonzalez. Conklin running the 4 nicely. He stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, tough pass to catch for the big fella, and got him in an awkward position, and a good idea getting it to him, but the pass was tough to corral and stepped out of bounds.
34 years of age is Brian Conklin. You see him kind of sucking a little bit of wind here in the first quarter. It's the first game for these two teams. You expect them to be a little bit of lungs burning as we get up and down here in game number 1 in Group A. Dexter Pittman checks into the game, and Omar Diarra as well for Halcones. And Conklin will sit with his 6 points.
I'm interested to see Dexter Pittman play, because I remember him at Texas. I remember him losing a lot of weight and becoming a better player. Had some experience in the NBA, but I'm interested to see what he looks like today.
Yeah, number 45 in white there. He was guarding the perimeter with Romero. Fouls called away for the basketball. Halcones now in danger to be in the penalty. as they picked up their 4th team foul with 3:41 to play in the first. Williams on the baseline, got up with power and laid it in. Gonzalez uses the Pittman screen. Rodriguez for 3, indeed. Jonathan Rodriguez missed his first 2 shots. That time knocks down the triple. And they're going to call a travel there as looked like Holloway kind of got caught up there. You rarely see a travel on a handoff attempt.
And if you look, he did. It's a weave play in their dribble handoffs, and he did take an extra step in there. Unfortunately for him, the referee was standing there watching it.
Screen away, and the foul is called away from the basketball. Rodriguez caught the ball all by himself underneath the rim, and he was probably wishing that the foul would have been let go that time, as he has an easy 2 right on the doorstep. But it'll be out of bounds play for Halcones. Here's Pittman, his first touch. Diallo fell down. Ruiz in the open floor, rejected by Pittman. And Rodriguez pushes back the other way. Nice patience there by Gonzalez, who drills his first 2. You're right about Pittman getting back there in time to negate that shot. Shot in and out. Rodriguez with the rebound. And Halcones will push the other way. It's Gonzalez using the Pittman screen. Got it in the air, thought better of the shot, and will now look to reset. 3 on the way for Rodriguez, too strong. Pittman battling inside, somehow comes right to him, and he wanted the and one.
It's like, look what I got.
Well, you mentioned wanting to see what Dexter Pittman looks like, and he's looked good in the last couple of minutes on the floor, making a play defensively and just being in the right spot, right time on the offensive end. Romero was hacked. He'll go to the line for 2.
And the key with Pittman, too, is his shape. For those of you out there that don't know, when he was at the University of Texas when he first came to school, he weighed 380 pounds. And he struggled and got some advice from some people, including Charles Barkley, about losing weight. And he's dropped 20 or 30 pounds and to be an effective player. And looking at him right now, he looks like he's in great shape. He's always been a little heavy, and now I would bet money on he's below 300 pounds right now, and that's 80-pound difference.
Yeah, it really is. And, at age 35 to be doing that, it's pretty impressive. Of course, you mentioned he went to the University of Texas, then was selected in the 2nd round 2010 NBA draft by the Miami Heat. And had a cup of coffee really with the Memphis Grizzlies, but really spent the bulk of his time developing in the G League, but couldn't get the weight down. And now we see him still dominating here inside with the finish. He always had the footwork, right? He definitely always had the footwork, and you saw it on display there.
That was a nice shoulder shrug and a left-hand hook. Love to see that. That's impressive right there.
It really is. All the way, attacking, counted in the foul. Well, you talk about college stars. Here's a guy that the A-10 was happy that he left when he graduated in Terrell Holloway. Of course, went to the University of Xavier and was a tough player in that conference. And of course, I had said New York, and he definitely brought that New York swagger to the A-10.
Yeah, you saw him drive strong to the basket, get into the defender's body, and create the foul. And that's his mentality, as always has been. And I think at Xavier, he was the conference player of the year one year also.
Was the A-10 player of the year in 2011. and has won a couple MVPs along the way in his pro career. BSN Finals MVP in 2017, Israeli Cup winner in 2018, bounced around in the G League, was an all-star in the G League, and now settling in here with Real Estelí in the Basketball Champions League of Americas. There you see him taking a tumble right there off the moving screen by Dexter Pittman. It's the first foul for Pittman, and 51.9 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. It's been a good flow to this game so far. You see both teams also going to their bench early to preserve some of their players here, as first game for these two teams. And thrown on the rock, hands it off, kicks to the corners. Perez shoes untied, so he's going to work on that while possession continues. Holloway for three, off the back iron, and skying for the boards there, Villanueva. Halcones +7 on the glass right now. They're up by 3. There was a foul away from the basketball.
Yeah, the two big guys battling underneath for position, and someone got caught for grabbing a little bit too much. Ref said that's enough of that.
Got to get it in. They just do to Pittman. 3-second difference between shot and game. It's Gonzalez. Villanueva. His 3 off the mark, and Pittman got great position inside and was fouled there by Lopez.
He rolled to the basket and sealed, so now he's in a great position for the offensive rebound and created that foul. I mean, he's got good big man skills for sure, and it's good to see him using them.
Here he is on the rock, top of the key. Sets the screen, now rolls to the basket. Again, great position. He gets a touch at it. Pittman's going to have to put it up. He can't get it before the buzzer expires, and that's how we end the first 10 minutes of play here in Group A. So Halcones coming out of the first quarter break, Halcones up 18-15 over Real Estelí, trying to get a win on the road here in the first game for Group A action. Carlin Gay alongside Paul McKeskey. Paul, the Halcones has come in here and have got great big man play between Dexter Pittman and Brian Conklin, and that's a large part of the reason why they're up by 3.
Yeah, they've made an effort to get them the ball, and the bigs, both of them, have been active on the offensive glass, which leads to the rebounding deficit and or advantage. And they keep this up. It's hard to defend if you keep going inside out. Finally,
3 on the way off the mark. Lopez with the rebound. Estelí in the red uniforms going from right to left on the screen, playing at home here. The Alexis Aguirre Sports Complex. That ball last touched by Perez, and good hands there, knocking it out of bounds was Fabian Jaimes. Here he is, 3 in white.
nice hands, deflecting it out of bounds off the offensive players, and we call that backflow. Defenses behind you and using their hands to deflect that ball out.
Gonzalez calls for the screen from Pittman. Now attacking. Kick out. Fabian Jaimes bounce pass inside to Pittman, and he's fouled. That was a great interior look for Dexter Pittman.
That was a really good pass. I'm telling you, Pittman was in the lane for about 8-10 seconds. He never left the lane. But hey, if they don't call it, back in the day, big players like Shaq and that used to just plant in the lane and make the referee call it, and then they were less likely to call it later. So good job by Pittman.
I like how you said Shaq and not yourself. I'm sure you would have benefited from some time spent in the lane if they didn't move you out as well.
I just turned into a pick and pop guy eventually, staying out of the lane and stretching the floor.
A lot less contact to be had when you're doing that way. Pittman goes 1-2 from the line. See a little pressure there as they cross the timeline. Cinthron will put it up over Pittman, in and out. And another rebound for Halcones. Villanueva. That's poked out of his hands. We'll stay here with 16 on the shot clock. Subs coming in for Estelí, as David Rosario looks on. It really is going to be interesting to see how the bigs outside of Ishmael Romero try to deal with Pittman and Conklin when he's in the game. They present such different problems. Pittman is just a wide load, big guy. Again, he's in the lane for ages. 5 on the shot clock. And that's off the mark. But then you bring Conklin in, and at his size, just a 6'6" player, but plays big. It's just a different problem to have.
Yeah, he's more athletic and can get out and get to the basket, and Pittman's just a load underneath and always fighting for possession, position. And if they let him camp in the lane like that, that's going to be a headache for the pigs on the other side.
Here's the aforementioned Ishmael Romero. Conklin also back into the game, 14 in white. He left the game perfect from the field. 6 points, 2 rebounds. Cinthron. Perez uses the Romero screen. Now looking for help. Cross-court pass. They give it inside. Williams just got it over the front of the rim for 2.
Great baseline penetration and the big right to the rim and a little bounce pass got him.
Villanueva's 3 no good. Perez not wasting any time as he comes back up the court. Williams. No spacing there, and it leads to a turnover. And then a foul. Oh, they're going to call it on sportsmanlike. As Kubian was in the open floor and the play was made to draw the foul. That didn't look like in sportsman. It looked like he made a play on the basketball, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. He reached with his other hand, and usually that's reserved for someone grabbing someone or making a non-basketball play. In my opinion, that was pretty much a basketball play. It's an unusual call for me to see.
Kubian knocks down the first. He won't complain about the foul call.
I do like that concept because we like fast break basketball, and grabbing someone so they can't run the break, is I did not like that. But in that situation, it didn't really look. It looked like he made a play on the ball.
Yeah. It was definitely a foul, but I don't know if it was an unsportsmanlike. So in an unsportsmanlike situation, 2 free throws and the basketball for the team that was fouled. So Kubian now on the rock after knocking down 2 free throws, adds a layup to it as well. 4 straight points for David Kubian, and is now a 6-point lead for Halcones. Seen thrown. Lost possession, got it back. Shot clock didn't reset. Yeah, that's the second possession in a row that they've done that to Sintron, and that time almost gave away the rock. So an interesting wrinkle defensively for Halcones. When, as a coach, you decide when and when not to trap the pick and roll, what really goes into that thought process?
I love to do it off and on and make the offense uncomfortable. Like one of the things I did a lot when I coached is after a timeout, I usually played zone defense because I know the other coach is drawing up a man-to-man play. So I'm going to throw a zone at him and throw a little wrinkle in his offense. And that's the same thing with trapping the pick and roll or double teaming the post. You don't like to do it all the time, but throwing in those wrinkles and keep the offense guessing.
Another turnover there. That was Williams that time, and they got it right back. A 4-on-1 or 4-on-2 rather opportunity. Seen thrown. Found some space and kissed it off the window. Conklin was challenged at the rim by the much smaller Holloway, but Conklin will earn a trip to the line.
I like that from Halcones. They gave up a basket at the other end, and then they go right into the post and create a good offensive situation and getting to go to the free throw line. That's really smart basketball.
Holloway explaining, hey, maybe trying to campaign for future foul calls. We take a look at Brian Conklin, Eugene, Oregon product. Of course, went to the University of St. Louis, was undrafted, and then started his journey around the world. It began in New Zealand, playing for the Southland Sharks. I mentioned earlier, was a Townsville Crocodile. Won an MVP in the NBL that season, and also playing in Puerto Rico. An MVP in that league as well. Coming off a stint over for Porto in the Portuguese league. See a foul there on the back end. Conklin, just such a solid player. He continues to play. This feels like the all A10 game here, but he was also an A10 guy. First team all A10 back in 2012.
He's one of those players that every coach and every team wants on their team. Really solid, plays hard, can make a little jump shot, good in the post, rebounds. He's valuable to teams all over the world. That's why he gets a job every year.
It's one of those guys that also feels like you don't need to run offense for him. He can really get his within the flow and context of the game.
Yeah, he fits in, absolutely.
Sintron misses both free throws there, and a flat-footed rebound for Fabian Jaimes. David Kubian. Conklin, the good find. Good ball movement that time for Halcones. The missed 3 and a fresh shot clock for Halcones. Conklin. A series of moves. Can't get it to go, though. Tapped up and finally falls for Halcones. So that is Rodriguez on the follow, sticking with it. And the effort has been there. And it leads to a timeout as Halcones now out to the biggest lead of the game for them at 8.
And Carlin, that's one possession where Conklin shows what he short rolled, kicked it out, kept the offensive rebound, made a play, then got an offensive rebound, tipped it to a teammate, and he scored it. He did everything on that play.
doing everything so far in the game for Halcones. Here you see the team leaders for Real Estelí, all the way with 7 points and counting. Williams 3 boards. And there's the top scores across for Real Estelí. Let's see if we can listen into this huddle. Well, we missed our opportunity. Let's take a look at some of the highlights.
I guarantee you was telling the rebound.
And he wouldn't be wrong about it. Right now, the rebound count doubled up. 18-9 for Halcones. Was a tough layup there by Cintron as he weaved through traffic. And here's the play that you mentioned right before the timeout. Conklin just kept it alive, and some way, somehow, it landed in the hands of Rodriguez and led to the timeout. 27-19 with 6:09 to play here in the first half. First game in Group A between these two teams here in the Basketball Champions League of Americas. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday evening. It'll be Estelí basketball coming out of the timeout. Israel Gutierrez is into the game for the first time, number 25 in white. He replaces Fabian Jaimes. Feels like all 12 players have played on both sides.
They know they have a long tournament ahead of them.
Perez's 3 is off the mark. And Kubian will lead the other way. Gutierrez sets a solid screen and rolls to the rack. Now clears out of the way as Conklin will look to go to work. Back to the basket, taking his time. Conklin falling away, can't get it to go. And Romero finally puts a fork in it.
It's interesting how all these post players now use the Dirk one-legged step back.
Definitely an easy way to create some space. Conklin was moving so slowly on that last possession, it felt like there was going to be the violation. As you saw right there, Gutierrez grabbing the back of Romero's jersey, and Estelí calling for the unsportsmanlike and getting the unsportsmanlike that time. That was not a basketball play.
Now, that was not a basketball play for sure. That's a great example. But the other one that was called a little while back, I have a question mark about that one.
So Ishmael Romero, who is at the free throw line, and whenever he steps to the free throw line, it is always an adventure. Not the best free throw shooter.
So
rattles home the second. Yeah.
Take that, Carly.
Quiet down.
Take that.
Quiet down, Carly.
He heard you.
He is a previous BCLA champion, winning it in 2020 with Kimsa. He's the leading scorer of the BCLA in 2023, and he can rebound the basketball as with the best of them. Here he is on the rock again. Good feed inside the Cintron.
Great bounce pass. Big, really nice.
Offensive foul. Cintron doing it on both ends of the floor. Scoring on one end and then defending well on the other. So an opportunity here now for Estelí to get the crowd involved and also get some momentum back. Down 5 here in the Rock. Romero faces up. Romero missed the layup, but guess who's there? Cintron having a moment here on the last 3 possessions. And that leads to a timeout.
That was a mix-up on the defense. This wide open layup that he missed, and I'm sure he's going to claim it was a pass to his teammate.
I wouldn't put it past them. 2 Puerto Ricans connecting there that time for that basket. 3-point game leading to the timeout. And Halcones, maybe we'll be able to eavesdrop, maybe we won't. But Coach Paco, here it is. Let's work on our Spanish and listen into the huddle.
Now we stole away with the other night and the shooter. Now defense is don't count, rebound, foul the defense. Don't run after the ball. Stop the ball and contact the screen. Okay, it should be dribbling. It should be in a right. Play on flash situation. On pin down situation. And the moment the pin down, seal with FIBA. It's Cubano. And really, un split, see, un split, see, all inside. Okay. Yeah. Let's open. One side. One side. Hey.
Well, we asked how would Real Estelí be able to figure out how to deal with the two big men that they're going up against. The answer has been get them moving. And they've done that with Romero and Cinturon with the big-to-big passing. They've cut into this lead. It's now down to 3 coming out of the timeout.
Yeah, I don't speak Spanish, but I heard him say, keep moving, play defense, rebound, stop chasing the ball.
Check, check, check. Easier said than done, isn't it?
Exactly.
3-point lead, Halcones basketball coming out of the timeout. Kubian. Rodriguez knifing inside. Might have moved his pivot. He did.
Yeah, that's where he got over-penetrated, and you just, you know, you got caught up. Just take a shot. Maybe we get an offensive rebound. Maybe something good happens. Get it up on the glass.
Credit the Estelí defense the last couple of possessions, forcing Halcones into turnovers. You're seeing them mount up right now. 7 turnovers and counting here in the first half. And again, rolling to the rim there is Romero, and he gets it above the rim.
Strong move, strong.
Starting to go to work on that ball screen action are Real Estelí. They've battled back now if they were down by as many as 8 moments ago. Kubian uses the Pittman screen. It's a foul going to be called here. I believe it's on Enriquez. It is. Well, they might have given it to Romero. Official score sheet right now says it's on Romero. So we'll hold it there. Shot up and no good, and almost a miscommunication there, but Enriquez saved it. Shooting percentage, Halcones now starting to struggle from the field, but they've been able to stay in it by getting second chance opportunities. Holloway, tough shot. Can't get it to go. Pittman with the rebound. Rolling. Kubian. He's asking for a Pittman screen. Here it comes. Pittman slips, and they go with him. Leaves Rodriguez open for 3. No good. And as Perez pulling down the rebound. Romero running the floor well, but the ball went right through his fingertips. 2-on-1 opportunity. Rolling. That's going to be an offensive foul.
That was a Euro step without a Euro step. You just went right through him. With a Euro step, you got to go side to side. You just ran the man over.
Great positioning there by Holloway. That's the 15th foul for Halcones. They're in the penalty the rest of the way here. With plenty of time before the end of the second period. Perez on the curl, hands it off. Williams rocking the rim.
They've been really working the middle penetration and then hitting the baseline cutter. That's the 3rd or 4th time they've done that tonight. Really good action.
See how Halcones respond. They're giving up the 8-point lead. They're now down 1. They're looking inside for Pittman. There's so much traffic they couldn't get it to him. That 3 off the mark. And Holloway will push the other way. 2 of 15 from three-point range are Halcones. Ball last touched by Halcones will stay here with 15 on the shot clock for Real Estelí.
To me, Halcones has gone away with what got them the lead, going inside, using the inside-out action, and now they're just kind of running up. They got to get back to what got them the 8-point lead.
Holloway for three, knocks it down. Give Holloway 10 points and counting. Well, Conklin's back on the floor. Let's see if they look inside for it. It's a three, another one on the way. Off the mark once again. Kubian that time doing the miss. Perez running the floor well. Missed the layup. And they're going to call an offensive foul on Cintrón as he cleared out for that offensive rebound. And like every player known to man, he's complaining about the foul.
For sure. But once again, Halcones came down and shot a three-point instead of trying to get it into the post and work the low post. So let's see what they do here. Oh, we get to shoot free throws.
That was the foul that put them in the penalty. So clock stop at 1:48. And Halcones now, they can't figure it out offensively. They're hoping to get something at the line and finally breaking the ice there at the foul line. And guess who? Brian Conklin doing the damage. Conklin missing the second attempt, so he's stuck on now at 9 points, and the deficit remains at 3. Ruiz back into the game, number 24 in red. Looking to turn the corner. Great crossover. The feed. Enriquez puts it in. He thought he was fouled.
Yes, but that was another penetrate middle kick to the baseline cutter. Again, it's been working all night.
Kubian for 3. Finally, they get one to drop. Kubian 2 of 5 from three-point range, but it's been a struggle for Halcones all night long outside of him. Enriquez will try to answer for 3. Can't get it to go, and Kubian will vacuum in the rebound and push the other way. Under a minute to play here in the first half. First game in Group A between these two teams. Here in the Basketball Champions League of Americas. Don't know who Kubian was passing to. Gave it away. Ruiz down the lane. First 2 of the game for Ruiz.
Yeah, trying to get a little bit too fancy behind the back pass, yeah.
Yeah, there was a slight 2-for-1 opportunity there for Halcones, and they missed it. Conklin drills it. Brian Conklin now with 11 points and counting. And Real Estelí will call timeout up 2. The shot clock will be turned off when we resume play, as there's just 16.5 to play here in the first half. Try to draw something up and get a good look for David Rosario and his team. Woolies drop into the huddle and see what they draw. To 6 points off the turnovers. And as you've been mentioning here in the last 5 minutes of the second period, a lot of the baseline cutters have been rewarded.
Yeah, they're just finding their spots, and they're doing a good job of just dropping the ball off for easy buckets. Halcones has to come up with some other plan, stay home on the baseline players.
See what Coach Rosario was able to draw up for Real Estelí as they'll inbound. Shot clock turned off. They're up by 2. It's not going to take him too long as Williams went hard to the rack and he was hammered. And he'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, Halcones tried to put a little press on to slow him down a little bit, but all it did was speed him up and get an aggressive shot at the basket.
Raul Delgado with the hack that time. He's saying, hey, I went straight up. He came into me.
Players always say that, right? Sometimes
I don't think basketball players would. Yeah, I don't think basketball players would make the best lawyers. Arguments are kind of faulty at times as we take a look at Emmett Williams towing the line here for 2 free throws.
But the judge in the courtroom doesn't have a whistle like the referees. You never win an argument against a guy with a whistle. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of shot. Well, you know, you were talking about the 2 for 1. Now they've kind of flip-flopped it, and now Halcones has a 2 for 1. They're going to get a last shot here.
Yeah, there's plenty of time. 10.4 seconds to get it up the floor. Get a decent look. Williams now in double figures, and he is perfect from the line. So Halcones will take the timeout here to try and draw something up to close the half. And they're down 4 at the moment. And we will eavesdrop in on their huddle.
Raúl, tú aquí. Cuando estemos atacando. G, tú aquí. And Tommy, big man. You go, but don't play sprint. Play ghost, play free, ghost to David. Okay? Understand? Y miras. Ponme este lado, este lado. Algo de este lado. Okay, Raúl, aquí, hey, aquí. Vienes, big man. Tú vienes, ghost, sprint. Claro, si hay follón, para
So it looks like they're going to fake a high pick and roll and go pick the guy in the corner for a shot. That's what I got out of that. That the coach drawn up to play like 4 different times, but that's kind of what I got out of it. We'll see if they can execute it.
Coach Paco Olmos wiping the sweat off the brow. His team down 4. Let's see what he can cook up here on this final possession. They'll inbound beneath their own basket.
Gotta go fast. Gotta go quickly. Quickly. There's the pick.
Gonzalez, he's gonna have to put it up.
He missed his teammate is wide open. That drives coaches crazy. The play worked perfectly, and he didn't pass to his teammate, unfortunately.
It ends up being a turnover for Eduardo Gonzalez, and that's how we'll end the first 20 minutes of play. Real Estelí up 37-33 over the Halcones in BCLA action. We'll get an opportunity to see the first half statistics here in just a moment. Shooting percentages for both teams, a struggle from 3-point range on both sides. Estelí leaving points at the foul line as well, just shooting 45% from the foul line. Halcones has been able to stay in this game, winning the rebounding battle. There's 7 offensive rebounds, and both teams moving the ball well, 11 assists, 8. Top scorers for both teams, Holloway and Williams with 10. Conklin and Kuyan with 11 and 10 respectively. And that's where we are right now after the first 20 minutes of play. Here are the highlights from the first half. Enjoy them. And don't go anywhere. The second half, we'll be back with second half action and what has been a close game in just a moment. moments away from the start of the second half here in Group A action in the Basketball Champions League of Americas. It is Real Estelí leading 37-33 over Halcones. Estelí, pro team from Nicaragua, and Halcones from Mexico. There's Halcones there on your screen. They had an 8-point lead, but then gave it up off of a 12-0 run. And Estelí taking control of the basketball game going into the halftime break. There's been 3 lead changes so far in the game. And shaping up for what should be a great second half here for these two teams. Their first game this season in the Basketball Champions League of Americas. Earlier today, you saw a great performance from Quimsa as they put a beating on Sao Paulo, 112-65 in Group B play. Still 2 more matches tomorrow. Sao Paulo will look to bounce back, and Halcones will have to play in back-to-back games here in Group A. Double duty. They'll have another game tomorrow night right here in this gym. Estelí will get back in action in Group A action on Monday night. But in the meantime, it is all about the now, as Halcones will take the floor. Coach Amos giving his team instructions in the halftime break as they're down 4. Estelí will start the second half with the basketball. Carlin Gay, Paul McKeskey, thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. FanDuel TV in the United States, DirecTV down in South America, and the Basketball Champions League of America's YouTube channel around the world. Off we go here for second half. 10 minutes on the clock. You're in the third quarter. Estelí in the home red jerseys, and Halcones wearing the road white. Williams, who's already in double figures, penetrating, skip pass, good ball movement here for Estelí, and it's Williams rocking the rim again.
It looked like they attacked the baseline again there, and Halcones has to come up with some solution to that action.
Trap the pick and roll that time. Rolling. Slips it inside Conklin. And Conklin gets the return pass from Fabian James, and he puts it in. Ryan Conklin now with 13 points. When you say the slip screen or the baseline and being able to kind of guard that action, what would you put in place for Halcones right now to try and mitigate the losses there?
Well, I think their defenders are losing sight of their man on the baseline and watching the ball watching, and their man is slipping behind them on the baseline for this action here. And you got to stay with your guy on the baseline and not lose sight of them. And that's what's been happening consistently. And, when the coach tells you you're ball watching, that means you're supposed to watch man and ball, your man and the ball, and you just focus on the ball, you get trouble. And that's where those cuts to the baseline are so effective.
Ruiz for 3, and it counts. And the foul. Jared Ruiz now up to 5 points, and he'll go to the line to earn point number 6 on the rare 4-point play opportunity. Both teams struggling from 3-point range. That's a good sign for Real Estelí to see one go through the hoop from deep. And Ruiz makes it a 4-point play. Kubian crossing the timeline there. Fabian James. David Kubian. Rolling. So Romero did a good job of hedging and then finding his man once again, but wasn't there to corral the rebound. And it leads to a second chance opportunity for Fabian Jaimes.
Offensive rebounds kill you on defense. You play good defense, and then give up an offensive rebound. Just kills your psyche on defense.
It's the 8th offensive rebound in the game for Halcones. There's the foul underneath by Romero. Or on Romero, rather. Conklin got his money's worth on that shot.
Yeah, no three-point play there. If you're going to foul him, you might as well foul him.
I'll send Romero to the line, as I mentioned before. It is always an adventure when Ismael Romero is at the foul line. And you see why.
Oh, right on cue. Right on cue. I guarantee, well, I don't guarantee, I can't guarantee this. I'm in Las Vegas. I should know better than guaranteeing. But I bet I would put money on even money he makes this one. It's amazing how that happens.
And you should have put the house on it. Should have put a house on it. He's 2 of 6 from the foul line now in the game. Give him 6
Arlen, I know a lot because I've seen a lot. I'm 66 years old. I've seen a lot.
A lot of time spent in the game, of course, coaching and as a player. And now you get to sit alongside me and call some basketball Champions League action.
The best
and
time
Craig Feta
ever
as well, the voice of the league. There's Jared Ruiz powering his way to the lane. Shout out to our guy Craig Feta as well, who I'm sitting in for this evening. You guys are telling some great stories in the blowout we saw before this one. Conklin underneath. Ruiz, or rather Romero, picks up the foul on Conklin.
Yeah, the last game we did was pretty much a blowout, and we tried to entertain everybody with some old stories, or, you know, keep them entertained. As a 50-point blowout. That's don't see many of those at this level.
Yeah, blowout is an understatement. Keemsa winning 112-65 over Sao Paulo. Guess what? Sao Paulo will get right back on the floor tomorrow and have an opportunity to redeem themselves.
It's going to be very interesting to see how they respond.
No question about it. Anytime, have you had a situation as a player or coach where you got blown out, maybe not by 50, but blown out and had to respond in a back-to-back situation?
Not as much back-to-back, but in a 7-game series when I played for the Bucks, you know, you might get blown out of game 3 and got to come back in game 4, maybe with 1 day rest, and put that other game behind you. So it's as much mental as it is physical to leave all that negative, bad stuff behind you and do what you can to win the next game. Where everybody says next play, sometimes you got to say next game.
No question about that. So we'll see how Sao Paulo responds in their second game in Group B. Great cut there, and Roland, his first 2 of the night. And once again, the post play proving to be fruitful for Halcones when they do go to it. Ruiz sees stripped. Let's see if they go back to it here on this possession. Rollins had it slipped out of his hands, and it went right out of bounds. He's saying someone touched it.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But I was going to mention this a little bit earlier, but the turnover situation is going to play big time in this game. You usually, as a team, want to be a 2-to-1, 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, and Real Estelí was 11 assists and 6 turnovers in the first half. Halcones was 8 assists to 10 turnovers, so and they just got 1 there. So turnovers in a close game can really affect the outcome.
Yeah, it's been kind of turning this game into a little bit of a slog. 11 turnovers and counting right now for Halcones, not 8 right now and counting for Real Estelí. So you're right. Whoever takes care of the basketball might walk away with an easy win here. As Williams, boy, oh boy, he's athletic. Tough finish inside, giving 14 and counting.
Hey, Carlin, guess what that was? Baseline cutter.
I got to find a way to tag those cutters, don't they?
Yeah, you got to keep an eye on them. Man and ball. Don't lose sight of your man.
Conklin's fall away not there. And Rodriguez with the finish. You saw at the top of your screen, David Rosario complaining of over the back.
He was on the court.
So here's a whistle.
See him up. Yeah.
And there's an issue with the basketball, so we're going to get a fresh one. That's the reason for the stoppage.
I thought that slipped out of the player's hand a couple plays ago when he said it was deflected, but I think it just slipped out of his hand.
Thought so as well. And maybe we won't have that issue with a fresh, drier basketball here. 5 minutes to play here in the third. Holloway, rhythm jump shot, too strong. And Dexter Pittman, who's back into the game here with the rebound. Pittman is sealing, wants it. He's camped in the lane. And finally clears. Romero rejects him up top, but the foul is called. Boy, oh boy. Romero thought he had the clean block. You decide at home while you're on the replay. Romero didn't even get the rock. It looked like the side of the backboard there preventing that shot from Jared Rodriguez. But Rodriguez will go to the line for 2 free throws nonetheless. Knocks down the first.
Yeah, it just looked a little awkward, and that's how he got the call. But I think you're right. I think the side of the backboard blocked him.
So Rodriguez pure on his free throw attempts, his first 2 points of the game. And the lead is hovering around 4. Enriquez slipped it right past the hand of Pittman.
I wish they would give the ball to Pittman. He's working hard in there. Give him the ball one time.
Here he is trying to steal again. Instead, it's a 3 on the way, cashed in by Rodriguez. The last 5 points for Halcones have come from number 22 in white. Ruiz. Holloway. 10 to shoot. Williams posting up. They clear that side, and Rodriguez bails out that offensive possession that looked kind of stagnant for Real Estelí that time.
Yeah, and only 5 seconds on the shot clock. Not a good foul there.
So Williams will leave the game, and he's had a game so far. Double figures. Leading scorer right now for Real Estelí is 14 points, 4 boards, and 2 dimes. Ruiz. Pittman with the trap there. Someone's open. Romero couldn't find him. There's the ball movement they needed. It's Holloway off the window. Skying in for the rebound was Perez, but couldn't put it down. And Halcones quietly still hanging in here and could tie the game with a 3. Pittman,
yeah, they are.
Finally gets a touch. No double comes, so he'll go to work. Pittman clears out, and it's going to be an offensive foul. Use that chicken wing.
And that might be a little frustration because he was open there for a long time, and they never gave him the ball. But yeah, he cleared him out with that strong elbow there. And it's always that top side ref that catches that.
You can't get away with that from that angle.
No.
Ruiz, nice feed. And Perez got blocked by the bottom of the rim, but was fouled by Rodriguez. He'll go to the line for 2.
You'll see the defender lose his man, and then the little back cut on the baseline side again.
You always wonder, if there is a time to go to a zone, maybe to just change momentum of the game. But in a zone, you got to be paying attention to cutters anyway, and it's probably not the best look if Halcones can't take care of cutters when they're in a man-to-man situation.
Yeah, it's a good idea, but at the same time, like you said, you think the way to beat a zone is to attack the middle and then attack the baseline. So it might lead them right into that. But if I'm the coach, if they're killing me on that move, I might try it anyway. Let's see what happens for a possession or two.
Perez now with his first point of the game restores a 4-point lead. Speaking of zone, Estelí in one now, 2-3 fashion.
Right on cue.
Pittman over the top of the zone, slips out of his hands. And another turnover here in the game. And Williams back on the floor, kicks to Ruiz. Ruiz pulls it back out, knowing he has time. Now he'll look to attack. Driving right on Pittman, couldn't get it to go. Williams fell on the ground hard. We play on. What a block up top, but they're going to call a goaltend on Perez.
Yeah, he caught it off the glass, but it was pretty spectacular.
It's a great hustle there by Perez. Looked like he was completely out of the play and then went to erase the shot.
Well, all you young players out there, use the backboard.
That's thrown back into the game. The young players are saying, we probably would have threw that one down. We weren't going for the layup. Ball out of bounds. We'll stay here. 5 seconds on the shot clock for Estelí to work with. Ruiz for 3. No good. Perez tapped at it. Halcones vacuums it in, and Halcones with a chance to take the lead with a 3. Rodriguez stepped out of bounds.
That's another drive the coach crazy, stepping out of bounds. There's no reason for that.
Paul, you talked about turnovers now. 13 turnovers for Halcones and counting.
And I can talk the one earlier where he threw it right out of bounds. It might have slipped out of his hand. Unnecessary. That one, stepping out of bounds, unnecessary. They just start adding up and just hurting your bid to stay in this game.
Speaking of self-inflicted wounds, Williams picks up a technical foul, and that will send Rodriguez to the line, and he cashes out on the technical foul free throw. As poorly as Halcones has played, or as poorly as it looks, it has not been a pretty game at all to this point. Halcones now only down by 1 with plenty of time to go here in the third.
And I talked with Craig, and you guys have covered FIBA for a long time. Referees in FIBA do not put up with very much. They will tee you up in a blink of an eye, so you just got to be careful.
Williams, oh my goodness! A screensaver! After picking up the technical foul, Williams taking out his frustrations on the rim. And then coming up with the great block on the other end. A foul's called underneath, but Williams fired up.
You called it early. He is athletic.
How about that?
I think he even got up higher on that block.
Yeah, here's the rejection.
Wow.
Probably could have caught it right out of the air if he wanted to. Wanted to volleyball spike it.
Could have done a LeBron James, just catch it.
Rodriguez knocks down the free throw. Emmett Williams, an American. Hey, summer games are coming up. You never know. He could be on the volleyball court with that athleticism if he's going to be spiking the ball that way. There he is, clamping down a rebound once again. 1:05 to play here in the third quarter. First game for these two teams in Group A. Ruiz gave it away. Rollin left it, and he gave it right back. And the foul's going to be called.
Yeah, he looked like he didn't want that, and he got caught in the air with it and didn't have nowhere to go.
It's not how you draw up the transition plays. It's
No.
lucky to get possession back for his team. 18 seconds on the shot clock for Halcones to work with. Rodriguez snakes the screen. Finds Rodriguez, and he lays it in. Rodriguez to Rodriguez.
They just gave them a little piece of their baseline action.
Just like that. 9 points and counting, and it's a tie game. Williams showing you the range. Off the mark. No one wanted the basketball, so Synthron said, I might as well pick it up. All away. Driving on Pittman. Pittman got a fingertip to it. Shot clock turned off, and Halcones with a chance to take the lead. And guess what? A turnover.
And the fan called that. I think that fan with the hat on called that. The referee is acknowledging it. There's another unnecessary step out of bounds turnover. He had a chance to get a lead here with a shot at the end of the third quarter.
It always feels like anytime Halcones is close to gaining some momentum, they shoot themselves in the foot. Drive there, and no good. And that's how we end a slugfest here in the third period. Well, Halcones found themselves down 4 to start the period. They tie things back up to end it. 53-all after 30 minutes of play here in Group A action, the Basketball Champions League of Americas. Stats through 3 quarters of play on your screen at the moment. Estelí leaving points at the line. Both teams struggling to shoot from three-point range. Here are, I guess we'll call them highlights from the third period.
Oh, wow.
And a period that saw Halcones dig out of a 4-point hole on the road as they try to squeeze out one, which would be a massive win. We talked about it in the first quarter. You are seeing both these teams really starting to figure out their basketball rhythm. Some of these teams have just added players. Some of these players haven't played in this competition before. It's starting to get physical. Legs are tired. Feels like we're going to have a crawl to the finish rather than a sprint.
And we talk about basketball is a very physical game, but it's also a very mental game. Mental toughness, mental focus. When you get tired, those things tend to fade away, and that's when you get turnovers. You step out of bounds twice in a quarter, and you got to really fight against that here in the fourth quarter, because guess what? It's 0-0 now. The team that wins this quarter wins this hard-fought battle.
The largest lead of the game for Real Estelí was 9 points. Largest lead of the game for Halcones was 8. No lead on either side to talk about right now. We've had 3 lead changes so far in the game. As you mentioned, who could be mentally tough down the stretch? Turnover is a problem for both teams. They're both in double figures. Halcones with 14, Estelí with 10. As we start the fourth period here from the Alexis Aguero Sports Complex in Málaga, Nicaragua. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. Carlin Gay alongside Paul McKeskey. It's Halcones basketball. They're in the road white uniforms. Rodriguez is 3, no good. And Perez pulls it out of the sky and pushes the other way. He's like a one-man fast break. And he's fouled, and guess what? He's shooting. He'll go to the line for 2 free throws.
Yeah, and Halcones was very lazy in transition defense. They were just jogging back. So, they just attack and go to the basket and shoot free throws. You can't be lazy at this point in the game. Sprint back, turn around.
Referee was overruled on the... Yeah, referee was overruled on on that foul call. It was the right call. You saw on the replay, Perez was passing it off, wasn't in shooting motion. Here he is in a shooting motion. That time he's fouled. Couldn't get the three-point shot to go as Pittman crashed into him. And now Perez will go to the line for 3 free throws. There's a wild closeout there by Pittman. That's probably one of the first mistakes we've seen from him tonight.
Yeah, just a little out of control. Couldn't stop himself. And
it's not like Perez is shooting the lights out. He's 0 of 2 from the field. It only has the 1 point. That's from the foul line.
Right at this point, you know, someone's shooting a 3. Go ahead.
Points once again being left at the line by Real Estelí. Before that attempt, they were shooting 47% from the free throw line. And it's only getting worse as Perez misses the first 2.
As we speak, hat trick coming.
That shot did not look confident at all.
He's
just wanted to get it out of his hands.
Yeah, he's standing 2 feet behind the free throw line. You know he's not a very good shooter if you do that.
42% now from the foul line for Estelí. A foul away from the ball that time. It's going to be the first team foul here on Estelí.
Yeah, back in the day when I played, there was 3 for 2 and 2 for 1, so there were hat tricks back then.
Pittman has to save it. Instead, saves it to the opposite team. They wanted to go showtime with Williams. He hands it off to Cintron, who evades the defender and puts it in.
Another silly turnover cost him a bucket. Turnovers just killing Halcones.
Want to get it inside to Pittman, but they saw Cintron lurking in the background. Rodriguez has come to play here in the second half. All of his points have come here in the second half, all 11 of them.
And if I'm the coach for Halcones, I'm not waiting too long till I put Conklin in pretty quickly.
He sat for quite some time. Pittman trying to come over and reject that basketball, but it snuck in as Holloway now at 12. Again, the basketball is going to be switched out here. It does get humid in this Alexis Aguero sports complex.
And I'm telling you, Carlin, the European basketballs, the Euro ball, it does tend to get, when it's wet, it gets really, really slippery.
We've seen a couple players mishandle the rock. Rodriguez driving. He'll go to the line and try and earn them. A little upset. Thought he probably should have a three-point play opportunity and probably could have made that layup.
Yeah, that's you make a move like that and you're right there. You know the foul's coming. You heard the whistle. You got to finish that, and you get mad if you don't.
Well, Halcones shooting 73% from the free throw line. As Rodriguez rattling home the first attempt. Give him 5 points and counting. Coach Almos has pushed the right buttons so far to keep his team in the game, and it's still tied here on the road, trying to pick up a tough win here in the BCLA. Perez, Holloway rejects the screen, and he turns it over. That's the 11th turnover now for Estelí.
And that's the right call. It hit his back.
Yeah, tried to go behind the back and just never got it to the other hand. We might get a review here.
they're going to review this. I guess you can review pretty much any call now. It's interesting. I mean, usually it's under 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, this will be the review for an out of bounds play. You can review up to 15 things in FIBA rules. Who it went off of last is one of them. It does look like it went off of the foot of Delgado. When you slow it down, he kicked it with his right leg. And that's why the behind the back play, all the way saying, hey, I'm from New York City. I got handles. I wouldn't have just missed an easy behind the back dribble here. But it also looks like Delgado kicked it, and it could have went off of Holloway's leg as well. If we slow it down,
might have went off
here.
Might have went off his calf. Hard to tell. So hard to tell.
That angle, yeah. This is the angle. We'll probably get a good look at it. That's a tough one.
Yeah. Usually, if that happens, the call stands, right?
Well, you're 1 for 1 on Vegas predictions. Give me a prediction on this one. Is it going to be Estelí basketball or Halcones?
I think I'm predicting Estelí because they're the home team.
We are on FanDuel TV here in the United States, so
I'm giving out free information now.
Go 2 for 2.
I predicted the blowout earlier today, I'll tell you that.
So the coach's challenge still in effect here. Yeah, no doubt. Still in effect here as the coach's challenge.
As a coach, it used to always scare me when the referees got together. It always scared me something bad's going to happen.
I'm sure when you were coaching, you would have loved to have some challenges.
And I
that time it was successful. David Rosario with the coach's challenge there, and referee Juan Fernandez saying, we made the wrong initial call. And Paul was right.
Coach Molkeski getting there. I'm here in Vegas. So I might have to hit the casino later this evening.
You just pull up the FanDuel app.
I'm 2 for 2.
So it'll be Estelí basketball, 10 on the shot clock for them to work with. Still a tie game. Delgado arguing with the official on the baseline. Enriquez will inbound. Here's Williams. Palming the basketball. Found the lane and puts it up and in. He'll go to the line for one more. His first step is quick.
And it's strong, and he's got a nice touch around the glass. Really nice around the basket.
When you see a player like Emmett Williams and his athleticism, you see what he's doing in a game like this. He now has 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. What are some of the things that you look for him to not only just play at this level, but to sustain this level of play throughout his entire career?
Well, obviously he's athletic and he can finish around the rim. He can rebound, block shot. I would think what's lacking in the scouting report for him at the next level is the NBA or that high is his shooting. He needs to be a consistent three-point shooter that can knock down shots, because at the high level of the NBA, you can't rely on getting to the basket all the time. So that would be my guess of what's lacking in his overall play.
Holloway with the steal, felt the contact and threw it up at the rim. And he'll go to the line for 2 shots. When you talk about Williams and that three-point shooting, he, in his freshman season at LSU, only shot 17% from three-point range. But he got that number up on low takes, of course, his sophomore season to 42%. He's an overall 36% three-point shooter after playing 2 seasons in college. But you see he's not comfortable on the perimeter. So to your point, that's probably where he will have to step up. And at age 25, the sky's the limit. He does have time to develop that.
Absolutely. And if I was his agent or if I was working with him, I would take this summer and work on consistent NBA range threes because he has a lot of the game already, and he's still young at 25. And if he can just, and I'm not talking about being a knockdown three-point shooter at the NBA level, no, but you need to be respectable, because if you're respectable from the three, then they can't lay off you. They got to guard you. And then with his athleticism and first step, he could really get to the basket. So, you know, that's what I would work on his game this summer.
Holloway gives Real Estelí a 4-point lead. The zone in effect here. Let's see if Rodriguez can shoot him out of it. Can't get it to go. That ball was last touched by Romero. We'll stay here. Fresh 14 for Halcones to work with.
And just for the heck of it, I looked at it, Emmett's defense, Emmett Williams' defense, and he closed out. He was active. So, you know, that just reiterates what I would be working on this summer.
Conklin pulled a string on that jump shot, and it lands in the hands of Romero. Romero rim running there, opening up the floor there for Holloway. Now it's Williams. Enrique lost control of the basketball, goes out of bounds, and guess what? Another turnover here in the game. It's one thing these two teams will look at coming off of this one, win or lose, is maintaining control of the basketball. Timeout on the floor, 6:45 remaining in the game. 4-point lead for Real Estelí. Let's listen in to the Halcones.
Mentally man to man. Only I break and take corner.
We gotta fill up. This is wide open. Somebody gotta get in there, and then we play off of that.
Hey, don't stop.
We're just passing the ball around right now.
Right now, if they do man to man, we offense. Hey, one more time, 2 rounds. Remember, for complete, open, deep down, and up with you, and after left.
I want him shooting that, team. Get a good contact so I get a good handoff.
Zone, come side, and you got the short corner. Man to man, 2 rounds.
Some of the pictures from this game. Fans here at the Alexis Aguero Sports Complex. The emotion of basketball, the world game. Gotta love it. Happy you could be alongside with us. We hope we're smiling just like those folks on the screen right now. FanDuel TV in the United States, DirecTV in South America and around the world. BCLA YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow us on social media at BCL Americas. Harlan Gay alongside Paul McKeskey. Coming out of the timeout. Real Estelí back to that man-to-man. It's Rodriguez for 3. Indeed. And Halcones hanging around. 6:20 to play in the game. Williams penetrating. That's a tough shot. A wild shot at that. Conklin lost the ball off the rebound. Romero was just there hustling more than anybody else. And he puts it down.
And Halcones fell asleep there. You got to keep playing. Get that rebound.
Well, the bigs for Halcones, Conklin living in the lane that time. Got it to go. The bigs for Halcones, in terms of Conklin and Pittman, have done a good job of trying to seal their defenders. The guards just taking forever to get them to rock.
Yeah, because for the most part, when they do get it in there, they do a good job of scoring it.
It's a poor foul there by David Cubian, as that is the 5th team foul, and the one that is going to put the Halcones in the penalty. Estelí will toe the line now every time there's a foul with 5:42 to play in the game. On the flip side, Estelí only shooting 45% from the foul line. Holloway drills the first. Wow. Don't look now. 2 free throws in a row for Real Estelí. On fire from the free throw line.
It's a miracle. It's a Christmas miracle.
They're now shooting 50% from the free throw line. Wow. Well, up 3 in the game. Halcones with the rock trying to dig out of this hole. Kubian, floater. Got the kind roll.
At this point, as a team to win this game, you got to put stops together. 1, 2, 3 stops together. Then you can take control of this game.
Emmett Williams, another assault on the rim. Give him 21 points and a 3-point lead for the home team.
Arlen, where did he come from? The baseline.
That baseline cut. Rodriguez's 3 no good. Another opportunity for Halcones off the offensive rebound. It's Kubian for the tie. That's way short and then a foul underneath. Williams is saying, hey, can we get a review? But it looked like Rodriguez was upended as he tried to, he actually mistimed the jump, it looked like.
Yeah, or he knew it was air ball. That's weird.
Williams barely touched him, but he did. It's not a shooting foul, so it'll be Halcones basketball with 14 on the shot clock on the reset. Kubian. Conklin sets the screen, now rolls. Kick to the corner. The ball movement is there. But also is the man movement from Real Estelí. That's a good defensive possession from Estelí on the scramble.
Did a great job of cutting out the baseline for sure.
Here's Williams. Holloway. They want to go to Romero. Now Holloway, his back to the basket. Fires to Enriquez. He hit the heel of the rim. And they're going to say an offensive foul on Romero as he discarded Rodriguez there. Romero didn't even realize it. Felt like a fly was on his back, so he just threw him down.
Pretty much manhandled him, man. He's tough in that paint.
That was Gonzalez, excuse me. Yeah, he is. He's been putting in some work in the painted area. It's the 4th-team foul here in the 4th for Estelí. So they're 1 away from giving up free throws the rest of the game. Let's see how Halcones responds. They could benefit from getting to the line here a couple of times. They've struggled some possessions offensively. Off the pin down. It's Gonzalez. Kubian's open for 3. Indeed. David Kubian drills the 3 and ties the game.
What great action. Dribble handoff, pick and roll. Skip pass.
Romero, Cintron behind the back. Floats it up. And he'll go to the line after being hammered. He'll shoot some free throws. Rolling there with the foul. Left hand coming down across the face of Cintron. And put Cintron at the line now. The score tied. All players now just kind of wiping sweat off of them. This is a humid gym.
Okay,
Jordan Cintron.
1 out of 2, 0 out of 2, 2 out of 2. I say 1 out of 2.
Let's see if you are able to go 3 for 3. There's the make for Cintron.
It's not a good sign.
To Niagara University. Cintron went to Niagara University. He was born in the United States, not far from where I reside now, Durham, North Carolina. But holds a Puerto Rican passport and does play for the Puerto Rican national team. Paul's going to the window one more time to cash out. Synthron goes 1-2, but followed his own and put it up and in. So the 3-point play for Synthron, not the way you draw it up, but he'll take it.
He's
3 minutes to go in the game. He really is. He's giving them great minutes off the bench. Conklin on the screen and roll. He traveled. He saw Romero, heard Romero.
He scared him.
And
heard the footsteps. He could have went straight up. He just got it. Yep.
Romero once again showing you the effort defensively. You said get 2 or 3 stops, and that could be the difference in the game. Well, that's the one stop that Estelí needed. Let's see if they can create some daylight. Romero looked like he traveled that time with a wild shot. And Halcones now looking to get back in the game. Down 3. Gonzalez. We're all in for 3. Off the mark. No one's jumping higher than Williams as he snatches the rebound out of the air.
Yeah, pretty much anything he does on the court is exciting.
Enriquez. Romero, 2 hands for safety. And that's going to lead to a timeout as the Alexis Aguero Arena erupts. As Romero rocks the rim, and it's a 5-point lead for Real Estelí with 1:51 remaining in the game. Let's listen in to the Halcones huddle.
You do that after the defense. The point is you do that before the defense. No more baseline. No more baseline. Last 2 minutes. Open. They do so. They do so. Hey, the open piece. That's a marathon. Pass, pass, pass. Pick and roll. Fabian, look at. Okay? They do. Man to man. Play. 2 side. 2 side. Okay? David. Die. Javi. Screen Fabian. Quito. Ya, Javi. Flair para Taekwondo. No. Vamos pick and roll. Con el moro. Hey. 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 We need 1 good offense and 1 stop.
Hay tiempo.
Well, I posed the question in the first quarter, how would Real Estelí figure out the big man combination of Brian Conklin and Dexter Pittman? The answer was we needed a big game out of number 28 in red, and he is given that for Real Estelí, whether it's scoring, rebounding, intimidating defensively, or with a couple drop-off passes. Here's Romero with the dunk there. He has 10 points, 5 boards, 4 assists, and 2 steals. He's been a plus 11 in terms of efficiency, and his team leads by 5 coming out of the timeout with 1:45 remaining in the game. See how Halcones responds. It's a must-make possessions here. Kubian has hit some 3s in this 4th. Pittman, good steal. The double comes. Pittman is fouled by Williams, and he'll go to the line with 1.4 on the shot clock.
Yeah, it looked like a good move to put Pittman in, but Conklin's out. That's interesting.
That time, the importance of the guard feeding the big. Pittman, I mean, felt like he just had the target up. The steal was there, but Fabian Jaimez's pass was just a little awry and forced him to take it down and regather himself. As a coach, it's something that you hope that your guards could do, kind of just walking onto your team, especially at this level. We really haven't seen that from Halcones. They just haven't been able to get that entry pass in easy.
It's a very underlooked skill of entry passes to the big, and not enough teams work on it because a lot of teams don't get it in the post much anymore. And that's why when I coached at different levels, I like to front the post because usually those guards, they can't throw a good pass, and even if they could, the big might travel or turn the ball over. So, you know, the entry pass to the big is really not worked on much anymore.
Little defense for offense sub as Pittman will sit. Rodriguez will replace him, so we're going extra small for Halcones. No fouls to give either way. Minute 29 to play in the game. Real Estelí with the ball and the lead. That was a Romero highlight. Back to live action. Holloway, watched by Kubian. He calls for a Williams screen. Williams slipped the screen. Holloway, a wild shot that falls. And it's a three. Give Holloway 18. Kubian trying to respond. Off the mark. Williams clamps down the rebound. Under a minute to play in the game. And Estelí feels like this could be the possession to close the door. Enriquez, step back. That's a two. Indeed. Good night.
That was the dagger there for sure.
Well, it had been a struggle for both teams shooting from the field. Real Estelí with two jump shots on that left wing. That might be the final dagger in this one. Halcones timeout. He's drop in once again.
Ready? Hey! Saca David! Saca David! Vilma! Kai! Fabián! Javi! In the moment day! Kai! Okay? You can and you do make it, Kai, pass, shot. You understand? If you can shot, five open, play one-on-one. Hey! Hey! It's difficult right to win. Basket average is important for the next winner. Basket average. No stupid foul, no stupid score. Okay? Let's go.
Well, Alexis Aguero Sports Complex here in Managua, Nicaragua, the largest city in the country and one of the largest cities in Central America. Of course, the capital of Nicaragua has seen what has been a slugfest that the home team, Real Estelí, looks like will be pulling out here with just under 38 seconds to play.
And Carlin, I'm wondering what happened to Conklin. He hasn't played the last 3 minutes. He's their leading scorer. I wonder if he's hurt.
Three on the way, missed there. Pittman with the rebound. They've decided to go with Pittman down the stretch, and he hasn't been able to reward his head coach Olmos. A foul will send Holloway to the line. You're right, Conklin has been the most effective player for Halcones. He started the game making his first 3 baskets and proved to be somewhat of a problem for Estelí to really defend, whether it was his scoring or him creating for others.
If you look at their bench right now, they have 2 coaches fanning Conklin. Like maybe he got overheated. You see it over there?
I do. He is there with definitely a fan.
I'm wondering if that's why he's not in, because there's no other reason for him not to be in when the game was on the line about 2 minutes ago.
We mentioned how humid this gym is. This Alexis Aguero Sports Complex. We've had to switch the basketball out a couple of times because it was soaking wet. course, this gym named after the famed 3-time 3-weight world champion, Alexis Aguero. Boxing Hall of Famer, was inducted in 1992. And he is, of course, from Nicaragua. And Estelí looking to punch one home. Oh, Williams rocking the rim, and I'm rocking in my chair. 23 points for Williams. And an MVP performance. And coming up with a big win for Real Estelí in their first game here in group play, the Basketball Champions League of Americas. A 10-point win for the home team. Emmett Williams stealing the show on both ends of the floor. Ishmael Romero adding 10 points, 5 boards, 4 assists. And Real Estelí sending the home crowd home happy with an 80-70 win over Halcones in their first game in Group A action. Final stats from this one be on your screen shortly as we see Estelí gathering at center court. Pay homage to the crowd here on hand. Holloway had himself a nice game and another win for David Rosario. As a good way to start the Basketball Champions League campaign for Real Estelí, a team that has been to the knockout stage each of the last 4 years. They made the semifinals, or rather the finals, just once. They've been knocked out of the quarterfinals each of the last 2 seasons, losing to Cumsa last year. They want to get that bad taste out of their mouth, and this is the way to do it, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, they're just an all-around solid team. You know, you had Emmett Williams, who's all-star caliber, just exciting. And you got Holloway, a guard that can control it. And then in the end, you have Romero, who's just a solid presence underneath. Not only does he rebound, do the dirty work, but you can tell the rest of the team feels comfortable when he's on the floor. They feel confident. So they have the makeup of an all-around solid team, and a tough battle tonight, a good test for them. But, you know, they're going to be hard to beat.
Here are the final stats in this one. Free throw shooting is the only thing that you read. Free throw shooting and turnovers are the only 2 things you can really poke holes in terms of Real Estelí's performance. They battle back on the boards. Initially in the first half, they were getting hammered on the glass. Halcones couldn't pull out the win on the road. Well, Paul, this was fun. It was an enjoyable first game here for Group A action. I know you'll be back at it with the great Greg Beta tomorrow and the rest of the Basketball Champions League round robin group phase of action. Hope you enjoyed it wherever you are, however you're doing so. FanDuel TV, DirecTV, and the Basketball Champions League of America's YouTube channel. For the coach, Paul McKeskey, I am Carlin Gay. We'll see you next time. Good night from Nicaragua.